When you power up your tablet, you'll probably see that there is a screensaver. To open the screensaver, take the little circle to the big circle. You'll see that we have the two applications we're going to use out here on the front panel. One application is GPS Essentials, which we'll use to make sure we have a good enough satellite lock, and we'll use that to do our tracking when we walk down to the vesicle and back. The other application, the ASM 540 collector, we'll use to take point locations, and later we'll look at the coordinates of those points in meters and decide how much drift we might have. So you walk out of our building and you head for a shady spot where you can see the screen. Once we get to a nice place where we can see the screen, we touch GPS Essentials. There's a taskbar that has two tasks that we're going to use. One is the satellite panel and the other is the tracking panel. We'll start with the satellite panel. And the point of the satellite panel is to show us as the unit picks up the satellites that it needs to get locked, they appear here in the sky map. And so this will take 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and eventually we'll have a whole group of green satellites. And then over here we'll have text that tells us that it has a fixed position, that has a lock. And at that point we can continue. But we don't want to take any points or do any GPS until over here the text says that we have a lock. Once that happens, I touch the icon, the satellite icon in the corner to go back. And from this position, I'll touch the track icon, which is the little footprints. Then I'm going to hit New to start a new track. And down here in the corner, it's going to say Tracking. So now I'm done with this screen. I'm going to hit the main screen and go back to the main screen. Tracking is still running. It doesn't show it here on the main screen, but it is. And it's going to track as you walk all the way to the vesicle and back, and it'll track while you're standing still doing the next phase. So we're going to use the ASM 540 collector to gather some points. You may be farther zoomed out than that. When you turn yours on, it may see the whole of the United States. The button over here is zoom to location. I touch that, and I zoom to where the GPS thinks I am. Do remember that you're going to do a select by location to get these from ArcGIS. And so the first step that you want is to do a change name. So I've touched the little icon here and this popped up. Change name. I'm going to give it a team name, and later when I do the select by attributes, that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to choose it off this attribute. So the way that point collecting works, if I touch once and then I touch the screen, I take a point at the screen. For example, if I was trying to map stop signs, I could do that. What we're going to do for the class is we're going to zoom to the GPS location and take the point at the location. So we touch the zoom button and then we touch the plus sign 2 times, and that means go to where the GPS is. And then I can choose one of these categories, and I don't care which category you choose. We'll do that 20 times, and before every point, hit the zoom to button so that we don't lose any of the drift. This will always put you at where the GPS thinks you are, and then when you take your point there, you will be able later to see if there's drift. After we've walked down to the vesicle and we walk back, as we come into Wi-Fi range, we will change back to GPS Essentials and we will export our track and mail it to ourselves. So, well, I mean, come all the way up in here till you know that you're in Wi-Fi range. You might check that you have PAL. Leave ASM 540 collector and restart and say pause on the track. So now we've stopped collecting the track. Theoretically, you've got 40 or 50 locations up here, and that basically what happens is as you walk, every now and then it takes a point. To export this to yourselves, touch the icon that looks like 3 vertical dots and hit export. Now we're going to email to whoever we type in the address a copy of that track. I want to choose that I'm using a Google Earth format because that's where we're going with this. And then I'm going to type in, or I'm going to touch the icon which looks like a V on its side. That's the email icon. It has a send or it has a from address already, and the file is already attached. So all I need to do is put in the email address I'm going to send it to and hit go, and this will send the KML track to my email, and I will load it in Google Earth. So you can send this to one of your folks on the team and then forward it to me and to your other teammate, or you can type them all in, whichever you're comfortable with. But when you hit send, the email is done. And that finishes the exercise. You can leave this and you're done with the tablet.